This is a learner-centered approach by Helen, Jordan, Becca, and Renay.
Okay, these are the principles of our learner-teacher approach. We're beginning with 4 principles, and I'll go through each one. Okay, the first principle is learning is personalized. Teachers get to know their students, they build strong relationships, and they meet their students where they are in their personal academic development. And then we give some examples of that. We know our students by knowing their health and wellness conditions, academic strengths and weaknesses. We build strong relationships by trusting, caring environments, and we meet students where they are with differentiated instruction and proper assessments. The principle number 2 is competency-based learning, and it talks about learning. It's about the information and skills mastered by students. Students learn at their own pace, and teachers are more able to respond to needs of students. And examples of this also is focusing on the learning skills that the students have mastered. Students move at their own pace with differentiated learning in every subject level, and then teachers are able to respond to individual needs, interests, and challenges of the students. The third principle, learning happens anytime and it happens anywhere, not just inside the school walls and in the classroom. Students make important discoveries. Learning happens before school, during school, and after school. Some examples of that. Learning happens in all things. Learning and discovery can happen inside and outside of the classroom again. And then students make important discoveries about themselves in relation to their surrounding world. And the last principle is students take ownership of their learning. The students are included in decisions. The students play a direct role in their success, and they are in engaged learning. Some examples of that: teachers, they will not make decisions about students without those students. Students share a level of control over what they're learning and their own success, and students learn by doing in an engaging atmosphere. So in this mode of learning, we're releasing the power from the teacher to the student, and all 4 principles work together. We are reimagining education to work for all students. We know that learning takes on a life of its own. Students can construct their learning in a community, and we are turning kids loose to create something great.
In the next section, we are going to focus on the different strategies for a learner-centered approach. 3 of the strategies that we are going to focus on are the problem-based learning, essential questions, and discovery learning strategies. The first strategy, problem-based learning, allows for students to explore real-life problems and encourages working in small groups in a fun and interactive way. The teacher is seen more as a guide than an instructor during problem-based learning, so that students are encouraging and actively problem-solving themselves with their peers instead of the teacher. Problem-based learning is an excellent way to incorporate multiple subjects, and applies across multiple curriculums. The following is an interesting quote we found during our research about problem-based learning. When we are faced with finding solutions to a problem, we are more likely to develop generic as well as subject-specific skills. An example in the classroom would be the subject, how can we improve school lunches? This question allows for health, math, language, arts, and more to be incorporated into learning. Nutrition in the food pyramid apply to health, while options and food costs apply to math. Food portions and creating a menu apply to real-life situations as well as language arts. The students would actively engage with one another to solve this problem. We are going to watch a short video that allows some of the benefits of problem-based learning as a learner-centered approach. Please watch the video on your own time.
So, in our research, we found one article by Karen Downing that is called Using Problem-Based Learning to Facilitate Student Learning. It discusses the value of problem-based learning in the classroom. The article states, problem-based learning is an active and engaging pedagogy to use for teaching information, literacy concepts, and skills. According to this article, the outcomes include much better papers, students becoming a part of the scholarly conversation, and a stronger understanding of the material. Problem-based learning is easily adaptable to any discipline and encourages active engagement among students.
The second strategy we are going to focus on is the strategy of essential questions. One general open-ended question addresses the main theme of the unit, and additional more specific questions will follow. The questions are meant to initiate curiosity with the students. An example of an essential question in the classroom would be to ask students the general question, how do you spend your weekends? The more specific questions to follow would be, do you play sports? Do you visit with family? Do you work on the weekends? If so, where do you work? With these questions, students can interview one another and create graphs on how their weekend time is spent. Once again, the strategy of essential questions is applying across curriculums.
The article by Jessica Phillips called Inquiry-Based Learning and the Power of the Essential Questions. The author reports of a formula by Katrina Schwartz. The formula states that the authentic problem plus compelling question plus interesting text of all kinds plus thinking, conclusion, and synthesis equals deep, lasting learning. The author also says that essential questions are those that can drive the direction of the learning experience and engage the mind on a deep level. These should be thought-provoking and help the learner think through the identified problem.
The third strategy is discovery learning and then branches off to guided discovery learning. Discovery learning focuses on the student exploring to learn on their own without the help of the teacher. Guided discovery incorporates the teacher roll back into an approach to direct the students. Guided discovery has been seen as a more effective method since the teacher can help steer the students in the right path. Examples of discovery learning include dissection and any type of experiments in science class or even other subjects. An interesting quote from our textbook reads, "Discovery learning meshes with the ideas of Piaget, who once commented that every time you teach a child something, it's something you can keep the child from learning."
All right, our final article that we researched was by Singaravulu called Discovery Learning Strategies in English. In this article, he researched a class of English students using discovery learning. There were 60 students studying English, and some used the traditional teaching styles while others did discovery learning. The students who used discovery learning succeeded well above those who did not. The article states, discovery learning is more effective in acquiring grammatical competencies in English. Hence, it will be more supportive to promote the competency of learners in grammar. Like the effective methods of using discovery learning method was attracted to young learners in learning English grammar.
Additional teaching strategies for the learner-based approach include instructing to the needs of your students, knowing your students and what motivates them, and use real-life concrete materials that the students can get meaning from. Some examples of additional learner-centered approach activities for early childhood include role play, dramatic play, free play building blocks. For elementary school, interviews, audience plays, outdoor projects, and gardening are ways to effectively engage students using the strategies discussed. In middle school and high school, labs, the media, experiments, debates, dissection, and more can also be incorporated. Many of these learner-centered activities can apply across different age groups and apply all the way from pre-K through high school and beyond.
Our final slide part of our presentation is evaluation within the student-centered approach. Evaluation in the learner-centered approach consists of self-evaluation, peer evaluation, the latter feedback, rubrics, portfolio, and testing. Self-evaluation. A major aspect of student-centered approach is students learning how to assess themselves, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, determining and designing their own goals for a task or assignments, keeping track towards a goal, and also learning how to revise and the purpose of revision to make their work stronger. Another aspect is peer evaluation. Through groups and partner work, students learn to give objective feedback, provide opportunities for revision, to improve and mastery goals. Students are based on ability, and teachers always model assessments and offers feedback throughout the process. One tool for peer assessment is the ladder of feedback. It is a series of 4 steps that allow students to climb the ladder together to reach their goals. The first step is to clarify. You ask questions to get a better understanding of the assignment and what the writer was thinking. You offer positive. Step 2 is you offer positive feedback in a constructive way. Third is you state concerns. What is your work? What are the problems? What don't you understand about the assignments? You always want to make sure your feedback is offered in an objective manner, using phrases like I wonder or I think. And the 4th step is you make suggestions. How do you improve the work? At all times, though, be free of judgment and be objective. A very valuable tool in the student-centered approach is rubrics. Rubrics are brief documents, 1 to 2 pages, which highlight what makes a work excellent and what makes a work inferior. Another major aspect of the student-centered approach is the use of portfolios. A progress portfolio allows students to see the development over a period of time. Students take responsibility and can reflect on their learning and how they learn best. It is not about showing the best work, it's about showing the learning process for students. It's an evaluative tool that teachers and students can use to plan other learning opportunities. Testing is also a part of the student-centered approach. Teachers begin a unit with a baseline test to understand what the children know and what they need to know through the material. Tests afterwards are highly subjective. Questions can be created by the students. Student questions are based on the student's prior knowledge and interests, and students' questions are written to demonstrate what a student knows. The learner-centered approach versus the teacher-centered approach. Learner-centered approach is the guide on the side. Students sit in tables or pods. It's small group instruction. It's teaching critical thinking. It's flipping the classroom around where you do lectures through video for homework and projects in class. It's ideal for universal design, and since it's student-centered, it's ideal for inclusion settings. Teacher-centered. It's the stage on the stage. All the desks face the teacher. It's whole class instruction. It's lectures in class and projects at home. It assumes that most students learn the same way, and is focused on memorization of facts.
Finally, these are just our references so that you can look into them for yourself, and if you want to learn more about problem-based learning and learner-centered approach. Finally, thank you so much for watching our presentation, and we hope you're just as excited about using learner-centered approach in your classroom as we are.